Hello everyone and welcome back to the Kingston Libraries Online. I'm Fran T from the Webb branch, and today I'm going to be bringing you one of my weird and unusual books from my own personal collection. So like many people, I have the collection which is a mixture of books that I love and have read and some books which I collect with the hope of reading them at some point in the future. But I do also have a little bit of a shelf which is books which I know I'm probably never going to read but are just very pretty or very interesting. So the book that I'm going to talk about today comes from this section of my personal library, and it's actually Celestial Objects for Common Telescopes by Reverend T. Webb. It is basically a map and a path for the night sky, and it goes into great detail on some cosmology and astrology in terms of where the constellations are based and what stars you are actually looking at within those constellations. And as it says, you can use this with telescopes to pinpoint what you are looking at in the sky and to search for something there, if you have the knowledge and the equipment to do so. I personally do not have the knowledge and the equipment, so I find this book absolutely fascinating, just as a reference book for something which seems very obscure to me, essentially. I like to think that at some point in the future I might have my own observatory with a collection of books and telescopes that I can use to potentially figure out exactly what this book is saying. So here we go, let's dive into this one a little bit for you. So first off, the thing up here, I always like when I'm getting books from charity shop. I know it's a little bit of a travesty, please do not write in any of the library books, but I love the fact that you get the prices written in the corner. So you can see here, just £2 for this book, an absolute bargain. And the next thing, a little bit of an inscription up here which I never figured out exactly what it says, so if anybody can decipher that, please do let me know. And we have here the very first pages, so we've got there the full title for you, Celestial Objects for Common Telescopes by Reverend T.W. Webb. And this is the edited and revised edition. So this one was actually written in the late 1800s, I believe, but this revised edition, as I say, comes from around about the 60s. And you're getting through here lots of black and white photographs, and quite a lot of them are from the Mount Wilson and Palomar observatories, so over in the US. And again, going back to the 60s, some of these would have been a really interesting picture to have a look at. So I'm just going to read a little bit of the preface here. I really love some of this one here. So this is volume 2, as I said, and volume 1, part 1 was the instrument and the observer, and part 2 here is about the solar system, and you can see it's reprinted from the 6th edition. So the 6th edition written in 1917 initially. So that means for any of you that know a little bit about space and cosmology and the solar system, some of the stars that we are looking at and some of the things that would have been known about the night sky have changed a little bit since the time that it was originally written, which is why there are so many editions and it has had to be edited here. And if we have a start to have a look through, this section here is where you start to get the actual coordinates, so the way and the place that you are looking at in the night sky. For me, I absolutely love this. It's almost like the book that Marion showed you with the nonsensical language, because that's basically what it is to somebody that's very naive of cosmology like me. You can see at the top here, this is the Andromeda one. So you might be familiar with Andromeda as a star constellation, but to be able to look at the specific stars and know where they are and when they are there is absolutely fascinating. and you're starting to get lots of cosmology terminology, so double stars and that kind of thing. It's the kind of stuff which it would make me feel very smart if I could figure out some of this stuff. You do also have other aspects here, wishing I put a bookmark in, because as well as some of the pictures, and you have all of the coordinates, you do start to get a few other things about mapping of the stars, and you can see here tracing from Andromeda showing stars of type V, so lots of different types of stars that I wouldn't even know where to start with them. And again, you're getting some of the pictures here, photographs from the observatory again, and this one here showing a nebula Cygnus, an entire area of nebulosity, photographed in red light. So obviously coming from a very far away, you are going to have to be photographing in very particular light to get these kind of pictures. And I just think, even without knowing exactly what it's saying, being able to flick through books like this and just get an idea of this knowledge which has been put down on paper and it's being passed through the generations. I like to think that this kind of book was on the shelf in Victorian times, and that this kind of book will be on the shelf in the future as well. So hopefully when it stays on my shelf there, at some point in the future I might be able to find the time and find the skill to work a common telescope and start to find some of these stars and some of these constellations for myself. So there it is for you, just a little bit of my strange and unusual book taste. Hopefully it gives you a bit of an idea as to some of the books that you might find out there when you're not necessarily looking for them. So I hope that you enjoyed that today, and thank you very much for watching.